Oklahoma City bracket. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame taking on the 16-seed Montana. The winner will advance to face DePaul on Sunday night at 9 Eastern on ESPN. The Blue Demons erased a 15-point deficit to rally to beat Minnesota in our first game here tonight. Tomorrow evening out at Stanford, the 4-seed Cardinal and the 5-seed Oklahoma will be in action as well. And how about the featured performers here tonight for the Fighting Irish, Stephanie?
Well, potential National Player of the Year, Jewel Lloyd, can hurt you in a number of ways. The Julie Oop, her special right there. But she's got a terrific running mate with the inside-outside combination of Brianna Turner, who gets it done on both ends of the floor. I mean, how do you stop this?
You got the Player of the Year in the ACC, the Rookie of the Year in the ACC, and they're joined by Allen, Mabry, and Reimer. They will have the significant advantage inside against Montana. Champs of the Big Sky at 24-8, led by Kelly Rubel, the co-Player of the Year in the league. The 5th-year senior out of Bozeman joins fellow seniors Maggie Rickman and Carly Selvig, who happens to be the niece of the head coach, Robin Selvig. And the first basket right off the jump ball for Jewel Lloyd, the ESPNW National Player of the Year.
Well, in a defensive tip, yet you still have to be aware of where everyone else is on the floor. Jewel Lloyd just exploding to the rim, and terrific entry pass inside of Valley.
Kaylee Valley, the sophomore from Spokane, former Washington Player of the Year in high school. Here's Lloyd, mid-range. Weak side rebound for the Lady Griz, getting on the boards and making some shots critical. Montana is a team that on the year shot below 40% from the floor. And of course they come right out and knock down their first two. It's an empire out in the Big Sky that has been built, Stephanie, on this end of the floor. Their defense year in and year out amongst the best. And a defense that is allowing just 56 points per game. As Turner scores inside. Of course, the Fighting Irish, one of the top scoring teams in the lane.
Well, and traditionally, Robin Selvig's teams in the past had played majority zone defense. The last couple of years have transitioned to more man-to-man on the defensive end. He said, you know, a lot of players that we were recruiting just couldn't get the defensive concepts of the zones. We went man, and they've excelled.
Knocked out of bounds by Jewel Lloyd. There is Robin Selvig, 37th season as the head coach. He spent 41 years at Montana, where he started out as a player on the men's team. And he has coached generations of Lady Griz. He's got a couple of players on his team. He also happened to coach their moms in their younger days.
Played for Judd Heathcote in Montana. I did not know that. And there's that high-low that's so tough to defend.
We have the best first-round coaching matchup in terms of combined wins, over 1,500 for Selvig and Muffet McGraw, and one of those wins was the 2001 National Championship. Muffet now in her 28th season with the Fighting Irish, looking to get to the Final Four for the 5th year in a row. And the big addition this year was the first recruit out of the state of Texas in 15 seasons. And Turner, the high school National Player of the Year, after the made free throws, topped the press.
Yeah, Notre Dame really going to come with this full court pressure, the zone. That is a tough matchup. But this is a very disciplined, poised, offensive team for Montana. They're a team that's experienced. They don't really get rattled.
Turner out on the break, gets the lay-in.
I think that's the dynamic right here. Muffet McGraw told us yesterday, we want to run, run, run. You get the board, quick shots, turnovers, run the floor.
Montana really shouldn't be rattled by this environment. They play in front of 3,000 or 4,000 fans at home in Dahlberg Arena every night. They drew 4,000 hosting the Big Sky Championship game, which they won. A foul here on Turner.
Her first, team's first.
Rickman, one of those seniors, now top to Rubel. Here's the player that's gonna have to lead the way tonight. Rickman, fadeaway over Reimer gets the bounce. Rickman, the senior from Helena, Montana.
And Rickman's really good around the rim. She's got a nice touch. She can go over either shoulder. She's very athletic. She can elevate over her defenders.
Montana foul committed by number 10, Kaylee
Foul's going to be on
Valley.
Kaylee Valley. That is her first. Turner will check out, and the other freshman post player, Catherine Westbeld, will come on. The 6'2" rookie out of Kettering, Ohio. Lloyd coming off the screen at the elbow.
Miscommunication on the defensive end. The Lady Griz are a team who like to switch a lot. And right there, Valley coming off of that pin down was calling for the switch, and nobody was there.
Lob, they're trying to get it into Selvig. She'll fire it back out. Rickman for three. Lloyd able to tip it to Mabry. And Mabry caught from behind and loses it.
This is the pace right here that Montana wants. They want to play quarter court offense. They are very patient in their execution.
Rubel working off the dribble, long, rebounded by Westbeld. Irish will push. This is Lindsay Allen. Gets into the lane with contact for two.
Lindsay Allen is one of those players that is just consistent. She's quiet, but I think she can take her offensive game to another level. I think she can get to the paint at will. In order for Notre Dame to make a run at a championship, you got to be able to score from all 5 positions, and Lindsay Allen has the ability to do that, to be a primary scorer.
She's had moments, including a career-high 24 against North Carolina earlier this year, and the Irish off to a terrific start. They've hit 6 of their first 7 shots.
Tanya Reimer's been so good the last 6 games, averaging almost 12 points a ball game, shooting it at 58%. Well, my girl talked to us about the end of June, or the end of January into February and March. She's been really good.
Here comes Lloyd. Drew Lloyd, the crossover off the window won't go. Tipped back out to Allen. Lloyd, the assist to Reimer, who slipped the screen. Timeout, Montana.
Jewel Lloyd can hurt you by scoring the basketball, but she's also a terrific facilitator. Head up in transition. Brianna Turner running. Notre Dame up.
You know, the Fighting Irish lead Montana here in the first half, but what a night for the family of Montana basketball. Of course, Carly on the team this year playing for Uncle Robin. Robin's brother Doug is Carly's dad, and that's Doug up in the upper left. Her mom Anita upper right, and her big brother Derek next to her down on the bottom there. All four of them have played at Montana. Mom, brother, and now Carly have all played in the NCAA tournament.
And don't forget
another cousin too,
Jordan Sullivan, who is Robin Selvig's sister's daughter. It certainly is a family affair, isn't it?
And it's a tradition in Montana. You talk to these players, they've got 4 Montana natives in their starting lineup. They all talk about wanting to play at Montana and the legacy and the tradition of Lady Griz basketball. This is their 21st trip to the NCAA tournament. And back in the early days when a lot of the smaller schools were successful, Stephen F. Austin, Louisiana Tech, Montana actually had 1 trip to the Sweet 16. Back when it was only a 32-team field.
A trip in which Carly Selvig's mother was a part of.
He's much more worried right now about the present and trying to coach up his team. The Irish are off to a hot start. They've hit 7 of 9 shots. The deep 3 on the way from Macaulay Feller. That won't go, and Jewel Lloyd has it. Madison Cable is now checked into the lineup, number 22 for the Irish, as has Hannah Huffman. Lloyd gives it back to Cable. She'll go with the mid-range game for 2. Just quietly goes about her business, does Madison Cable.
I was just thinking about how underrated Madison Cable is. You're struggling to score the ball, she comes in, she gives you a boost. You're not rebounding it particularly well, she comes in, she does that. All those things.
Leads the Irish in steals this year. I'll be sure to stay connected for this year's tournament at ESPNW and also on Twitter as well as Facebook. All throughout this women's tournament. Stay up to date on social media. Westbeld snares the rebound on the missed shot from Rubel. Lloyd on the run. Gets it to go. And it's another timeout for Montana and a program that prides itself on its defense, Stephanie. They're struggling right now. The Irish are shooting 80% from the floor.
Well, they switch on nearly every screen. And they like to keep teams in front of them, make them hit contested jump shots. But when you have a player like Jewel Lloyd, you not only have to make her hit contested jump shots, but they have to be more difficult than that. If you're going to switch, you got to be up. You want to force her to be a passer. Force her to go back and hit the roll man in that switch. You're not going to stop Jewel Lloyd, but you need to make everything she does difficult.
We are watching a young woman that is really a unique talent, and when you try and compare her to other women that have come before her, it is tough to match that kind of athleticism, that silky smoothness that she brings to the court, the elevation that she provides. She and Brianna Stewart at Connecticut probably will end up splitting a lot of the National Player of the Year awards. I think it's fair to say, though, that a couple of core players for United States Olympic teams to come.
Absolutely, no question about it. You know, and you mentioned her athleticism. You see a lot of players who separate using a step back. She separates using a fadeaway. And you see it, the one dribble, quick pull up. She doesn't need a lot of time. She doesn't need a lot of space, and it is smooth.
She is trying to get a matchup with the DePaul Blue Demons in the second round. She's a Chicago kid.
Chicago kid who had 41 in the first matchup.
We'll have plenty to say about that game if the Irish continue to cruise. That was an overtime 94-93 game during the regular season when Lloyd had tied the school record with 41 points and Brittany Rinko had 32 for DePaul. was a game that Notre Dame played without Brianna Turner. Three-point shot no good from Shanae Gillum. She's their shooter off the bench. Lloyd open for three, rounded out. Rickman able to tip it to herself. Montana has missed its last 6 shots.
And Montana going through their little motion offense in the quarter court. They pass and cut and screen away. Lots of movement.
Rickman fouled by Huffman.
8 points already for Jewel Lloyd. Silky smooth in the mid-range. You can't give her this much time and space.
Going to look at the 8-9 matchup, Syracuse and Nebraska in Columbia. Alexis Peterson. By the way, first time Syracuse's women's team in the tournament, and the men did not make the tournament. They are at home right now. Cuse up by 3. You look at the other games. Gonzaga up by 4 against GW. Early on, Wichita State and Cal, they are tied up. Back to South Bend, Baptist Stephanie.
Well, Kevin, the Fighting Irish up on Montana. Jewel Lloyd with 8 points so far, as the Irish are shooting nearly 80% from the floor. The winner will face DePaul on Sunday night as Shanae Gillum banks it in.
Well, you got to get out on Gillum. She's taken 114 threes out of 158 field goal attempts. So that's what she does. That's why she's in the ballgame.
Turner had it blocked by Rickman coming over to help. Lloyd right back to Cable. And a foul on the backside going for the rebound. If this is Huffman, that is her 3rd personal foul. So she's getting some extensive minutes here in the first half, and now she will have to depart.
After the Fighting Irish, Tanya Reimer.
Back to their starting unit from Notre Dame.
Notre Dame doing a lot of switching man-to-man in this motion offense. You have to be active. You have to be aware. You got to communicate.
Rubel's pass over the head of Alicia Sims.
It's 3 turnovers now for Rubel. Rubel, a player who over the last couple of years, because of opportunity, because of hard work, her game has really flourished. She has moved into that point guard position. She talked to us yesterday in practice and talked about how excited they are about this opportunity, looking forward to playing Notre Dame, looking forward to playing in this environment.
She was the tournament MVP in their Big Sky win with a couple of double-doubles in their 3 games. And Turner whistled for the double dribble. They started out the season, Montana did 2-4, and then they won 22 of their last 25 games to grab the regular season championship as well as the postseason. But as you mentioned, all these players making their first tournament starts here tonight as Turner comes over to help and gets the swat. Inside, Rickman with the catch and the finish. She's got 4.
One of Muffet McGraw's concerns about this team is just that their level of experience. It's not a team who she felt like would get rattled by the moment. They're experienced, they're balanced, and Notre Dame having a hard time taking care of the ball right now.
Well, they turn it over. Second round coverage of the Division I Men's Basketball Championship continuing tonight on CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. For more info on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. Final round of women's games for you tonight. A couple of upsets earlier this afternoon. Arkansas and Miami, a couple of double-digit seeds have advanced. We'll get you through tonight and then hand it off tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. That Princeton game at 30-0. They will start out their NCAA tournament road, taking on Green Bay.
Quick 7-0 run by the Lady Griz, doing a good job of getting high percentage looks.
And several turnovers in a row on the last few possessions for the Fighting Irish, and now the officials want to get together and talk about who that went out of bounds off of. And they're going to reverse it and give it back to Notre Dame.
Well, it certainly looked like Rubel touched it as well. It looks like Turner involved. That's a hard angle to tell.
I'm sure
yeah,
you could tell. Lloyd. Boy, the Irish take advantage of possibly an extra possession right there.
Well, Jewel Lloyd is locked in. You know, we talked to Muffet McGraw about the ACC tournament and the way that Jewel Lloyd played, and she said, you know, this is a player who lives for these moments, and she's understanding now it's her time.
Yep. She's got 10 already here in the first 11 minutes. Three ball won't go, rebounded by Turner. Turner from Allen.
If you're going to switch, you have to switch, and you have to get underneath those bigs. You can't allow Turner, Reimer to roll to the rim, as Lindsay Allen's called for the foul right there.
A bump on Rubel. That's her first. She's got 3 assists already. That is the 6th team foul on the Irish. Selvig. Rickman has to come out to get the deflection. Pass into traffic is picked off by Turner. Here comes Lloyd. Irish with numbers. 4 on 3. Mabry for 3. Boy, that's somebody the Irish would love to get cooking. She has been cold down the stretch the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, the last 8 games, Mabry 7 of 32 from the 3-point line. Only averaging a little over 4 points a game. This is a player who early was playing very well on the offensive end of the floor, but Notre Dame, Coach McGraw, not worried about it.
Good from Rubel, her first bucket. Leading scorer and distributor this year for the Lady Griz. It's a 10-point game. Number 1 versus the number 16. It has happened just once in tournament history. Harvard over Stanford back in 1998. Fighting Irish, though, on top here by 10. 7:16 to go in the half. First round action for the top seed in the tournament comes your way tomorrow night. UConn and St. Francis, Brooklyn at 9 Eastern on ESPN2. The Huskies and the Fighting Irish have met in each of the last 4 Final Fours. Are they headed that way again?
Diggins was more than Connecticut could handle.
And the Fighting Irish will dance on to the championship game. Kick out. Natalie lines it up and knocks it down for 3. And that was blocked by Dolson. You've heard it before. The 2014 national champions for an unprecedented 9th time.
That championship game last year, for the first time in history, 2 unbeaten teams playing for the national championship. And the Fighting Irish coming off on the short end on a Final Four that did not include Natalie Achanwa, who got hurt in the Elite 8 in this building last year against Baylor. Jewel Lloyd thought she had a clean block, is called for the foul. That's her first. They beat Connecticut in 11 and 12, but then lost in the finals to A&M and Baylor, and then got knocked out by Connecticut last year, 2 years ago in the semis, and that showdown last year in the championship game. Irish, by the way, may have to get through Baylor again this year. They are the 2 seed in the Oklahoma City region. They were a winner earlier today. Beat Northwestern State. Nina Davis had 17. Working inside, Reimer and 1.
And I think that's what Notre Dame has to continue to look to do. Get the ball inside, utilize it on the post-up opportunities as well as in the 2-man game. Taya Reimer has been playing terrific basketball. She's been very efficient from the floor. Get us some more touches. Continue to build that confidence, because for Notre Dame to play for national championship again, score from all 5 positions.
That foul was on Selvig, her second. Reimer now with 7 points. Here comes the pressure for Notre Dame. Good catch by Macaulay Feller. She'll attack the rim. High off the window for 2. Attacking the pressure.
And we saw Montana in practice. Every single player on their team worked on their floater. It was part of their warm-up routine, part of their shooting routine. It's the first time I'd ever seen a team have everybody on the floor work on a floater.
They were really embracing this opportunity, knowing they would be up against it as the 16 seed in the one's house, but a big moment for them. They were not the favorites in the league this year, by the way. They had to replace 3 starters. Selvig was hurt to start the season. And now Cable with the steal.
Yeah, Selvig was really a remarkable story. She was hurt in the WNIT in March.
Yep.
Missed the first couple games of the year, but was ready to go.
There she is with a block.
Defensive player of the year in the league. Now she's showing you why.
In transition, the pull-up 3. A moxie from Feller, but not the finish. And now Allen off the hesitation and 1. Well, the NCAA Wrestling Championships conclude tomorrow in St. Louis. You can catch the final at 8 Eastern on ESPN. Visit NCAA.com, the home for all 89 NCAA championships. So here is Allen, the sophomore from Mitchellville, Maryland, who has been the starter since the day she walked on campus and had some very big shoes to fill. Here you go, kid. Take over for Skylar Diggins. Good luck with that.
Question.
And boy, has she been terrific.
And the first Notre Dame freshman point guard to start in the opener since '94. Incredible.
Guided them to the championship last year, set a rookie assist record at Notre Dame last year. Just quiet leadership for the Irish. Cable down on the deck. Gets it out to Lloyd. Nothing quiet about her game. The assist for Westbell. Got it. Lloyd with 10 points and now 4 dimes. Reimer with the block. Rickman will return for the Lady Griz.
Lady Griz have had success when they've gotten the ball to Rickman. She creates a tough matchup problem if you guard her with a smaller player on the block, and mobile and stretches to 3 if you guard her with a big.
Feller with the mid-range. She's got 4. Junior from Lewiston, Montana. Tough pass from Reimer, and it's picked off. And she was able to poke it loose from Rickman. A held ball. Going to go to Montana.
Jump ball, possession to Montana.
Allen bumped, going for the rebound by Sims.
Sims called for that foul, but that was good offensive read by Montana. Again, Notre Dame is switching as well on all screens. Because Montana is so small, everybody's pretty much does the same thing. So essentially you're switching on everything. It was a good read and a good shot in offense.
Allen back to the free throw line. For the champions of the Atlantic Coast Conference, 2 years in the league, and they have 2 regular season and 2 tournament trophies. Now with 7 points for Allen here in the first half, approaching the 4-minute mark, and a Notre Dame offense that's shooting 68%. Rickman off the ball fake, got into the paint. Second chance. The third. Rickman doing some work on the glass. She'll get it back.
Rickman had 20 points, 18 of which came in the second half in the championship game against Northern Colorado. This is a player who can get it done.
Fourth time is a charm for the Lady Griz, and a chance for a three-point play. 3:30 to go. Montana trying to hang tough with the top seed.
The NCAA Women's Championship, presented by Capital One, is brought to you by your DQ. This month, get your $5 lunch with not one, but 2 crispy chicken wraps. And USAA, proudly serving the financial needs of current and former military members and their families.
We already have an 11 seed Miami pulling off the upset earlier today. How about the 11 seed in the Spokane region? Gonzaga taking on George Washington. Emma Wolfram right there. Gonzaga, they are up by 7 points. 8 minutes to go in the first half. Back to South Bend, Beth and Steph.
Well, that's Jonathan Sippis, the former assistant coach here at Notre Dame, now in charge at GW, getting them back to the tournament, the A-10 champs. And his old squad, the Fighting Irish, on top of Montana, but the Lady Griz showing some spark here. Heading down the stretch in the first half, they settle down nicely. Around and out on the three from Feller.
Got a mismatch with Turner.
Yep.
Allen recognizes it. Yeah, good high post flash. Great execution by Notre Dame.
Turner misses a couple of chances.
Can't get it to fall. Terrific execution. You got to be able to finish those.
Rickman baseline, bothered by Westbeld. Irish on the run. Allen with Lloyd, and Allen will take it all the way. 9 points in the first half for Lindsey Allen. Right at her average for the season.
I love an aggressive mentality from Lindsey Allen. I think that adds a different dimension. Her ability to play off the dribble, to play in transition.
Looking for Lloyd. Couldn't get it. Out of bounds to the Lady Griz. A reminder that we'll get you caught up on all the action from around the country. Cal, GW, and Syracuse, the higher seeds in action tonight. But Gonzaga, regular season champs in the West Coast Conference, one of the last teams into the tournament, with the advantage right now on the Colonials. And there's a turnover back to the Irish.
That's tough when you have 6'3" coming at you with the trap. She starts to go away and then comes back, and Coach Selvig not liking what he's seeing right now.
You don't have the kind of success that Robin Selvig has had if you're not passionate about what you do. He is fired up over on that sideline. Along with Harry Peretta at Villanova, the longest tenured coaches at one school in their 37th seasons. Next year, and by all indications, he is ready to roll for next season. He will tie Pat Summitt, who has the record 38 years at one institution. And wins-wise, he's already amongst the best in the business.
No doubt about it. Doug Bruno was talking to us about Robin Selvig, the fact that he needs to be in the Hall of Fame. He should be in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame.
Feller out to Rickman. Deep three, Rubel. They're going to need a little bit more from her offensively. And the foul will go against Montana. Irish will shoot the 1-and-1. Of course, Muffet McGraw is in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. And it has been up for the Naismith Hall of Fame. I don't think it'll be a whole lot longer before she's in, as Rickman has picked up her third personal foul. Certainly shouldn't be much longer for either of these two coaches with a combined 1,600 plus wins. There's McGraw's banner up there on the rafters. And the stick back is good.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. With what Muffet McGraw has been able to build and sustain here at Notre Dame this run, we talked about the Diggins effect. They had won a national championship prior to Skylar Diggins coming to Notre Dame. But after her commitment, after her staying home, gave them a new level in terms of bringing in All-Americans and bringing in top-level talent year in and year out.
Westbeld on the two-man game with Mabry, and Catherine to the line. That's the second foul on Selvig. He always talks, Stephanie, about the efficiency of this offense and how they read each other so well.
Yeah, you see the switch, and just that little hesitation and back dribble by Mabry created the space to be able to deliver the pass. It's the little things, and the little things, the details are emphasized daily with this squad. Muffet McGraw does not let them relax. You've seen her already tonight on them about every little detail.
Well, you think about the great guards they've had here in the last 3 or 4 years with Lloyd and McBride and Diggins. How about this young front line they're going to have for the next several years with Westbeld and Turner, the two freshmen, and Reimer, the sophomore?
Yeah, and those three and the emergence of those three late in the season has given Notre Dame a different level of consistency and a different dynamic.
Michael Johnson knocked it out of bounds. She took a pop in the nose, had a bloody nose yesterday at practice. 5 on the shot clock here for Montana. Rubel, does she recognize? Now she does. The runner off glass, got it on. Timeout, Notre Dame with 8.4 to go. They'll use this timeout so they don't lose it and try and draw up something. How about the first half so far for Jewel Lloyd? 10 points, 4 assists.
Well, she came out locked in and aggressive on the offensive end. On the pin down, knocks down a shot. Really good in the two-man game. You don't come up and close that gap, she's going to knock it down, in the mid-range is where she excels. But you mentioned it also, the ability to deliver. 4 assists, 5 of 9 from the floor. I think that's an area of her game that has really grown. Making her teammates better, getting them involved. She had been, even though she'd been very good, she had been a complimentary player.
Yeah.
Skylar Diggins on the floor, Kayla McBride, Natalie Achonwa. Now she's the one. Every defense is focused on her as 5 seconds left in the game.
Here is Lloyd, gets a touch, gets a shot, gets 2 more. Well done by Notre Dame, and a dozen in the first half for the ESPNW National Player of the Year. 60% shooting in the first half for the top seed in OKC. Now to Kevin, Kara, and Rebecca with the Northwestern Mutual halftime report.
Beth, Stephanie, thank you so much. Kevin Nagani in studio with Kara Lawson and Rebecca Lobo. And you're the one seed, you play on your home floor, and you're lucky enough to have Jewel Lloyd on your team. Right? The Irish look very good. Lloyd leading the way with 12 points.
They do look very good. And, yes, having Jewel Lloyd is a great luxury for Notre Dame. But they had tremendous balance in this first half. And they have a lot of players that can hurt you. And I think Jewel Lloyd's supporting cast has come a long way from the beginning of the season in terms of their confidence level and their ability to find shots within the offense. 10 assists in the first half for Notre Dame.
Brianna Turner has impressed me in this first half as well. This is her first NCAA tournament game. How is she going to come out? Well, she's had a ton of energy, not only on the offensive end, but getting steals defensively. This is a player who's a difference maker for this team. Remember, their loss against Connecticut, she was hurt and didn't play. The overtime game against DePaul in the regular season, she didn't play. So she's really important to the success of the Irish.
Irish playing confident basketball after the first 20 minutes, feeling very good. We got a good game going on right now. It's at the half. It's an 8-9 matchup. Syracuse, Nebraska in Columbia, Greensboro region. Alexis Peterson to Cornelia Fondren for the jumper. The Orange extending their lead to 6.
Yeah, Fondren's really come on strong lately. She can shoot the ball. She can also penetrate inside, and she's had a great first half in this one.
Few minutes there, the Fighting Irish very efficient offensively.
Absolutely, and they do it the best way they know how. That's sharing the basketball. 11 assists on 18 made field goals. The high-low action between the bigs. Playing in the pick and roll. Playing against a team that switches a lot. So good job finding the open player on the pin downs, delivering on time, being shot ready on the catch. This is exactly what allows Notre Dame to be so efficient on the offensive end.
22 of those 43 points coming in the paint. A boost from Catherine Westbeld off the bench. 6 points, 8 rebounds. Allen, Reimer, and Turner all contributing. And for Montana, the player of the year in the Big Sky, Kelly Rubel, just 2 of 7 shooting. She's got 4 points, 4 assists, also 5 turnovers. They were led in that first half by Maggie Rickman with 6 points, 4 rebounds. But she's back out there to start this second half with 3 personal fouls. Winner will face DePaul on Sunday night in the second round. If it is Notre Dame, it'll be a rematch of an overtime game in the regular season that Notre Dame won 94-93. DePaul with a come-from-behind win earlier tonight against Minnesota.
I love that you get a little bit of the accent in there when you say that.
Minnesota?
Minnesota.
That was a good performance from Amanda Zowie-B. Another 20-20 night for her in the loss as Rubo gets it off the window. I'm sure Robin Selvig at halftime talked to his star player about picking it up a notch. For the 5th-year senior, along with Selvig and Rickman, perhaps their final 20 minutes in a Montana jersey.
They got to throw it high. Muffet McGraw talking about that yesterday, all day in practice. There's not one person on the floor that can out-jump Brianna Turner. Throw it high. Let her go get it.
Macaulay Feller. Tough catch in traffic. Reimer with the block on the shot by Kaylee Valley.
Really good rotation on the defensive end. The mismatch down low. Montana able to get her the ball, but terrific help defense by Reimer.
Turner gets it back to Allen. And right back to Brianna Turner.
All day long. Notre Dame can take advantage in the pick and roll all day long.
9 points now for Turner. Up to a 19-point advantage. Feller with the nice fade for 2. Macaulay now with 6 points.
One of the things that Muffet McGraw talked to us about was when Notre Dame gets into this rhythm as Jewel Lloyd hits another contested jumper where they're looking to be patient on the offensive end but get into a flow on the offensive end as well. Utilize the clock is running some of that action into quick hits. So utilizing that 10, 15 seconds and then getting a quick score. She didn't think they were very good in the ACC tournament with this, and here's that two-man game. You get the switch. Again, when you're switching, if you're the Lady Griz, you have to get underneath the big. You can't allow them that straight line cut. You see Brianna Turner, just as soon as you think you have a mismatch on the block, Turner's right there in the help.
Nice use of the body by Kelly Rubel to get it up and in.
Rubel does look much more composed in the second half.
She's got a couple of buckets now for 8. Jewel Lloyd on the drive, swoops in to finish. She's 8 for 12 with 16 points. Talking to her yesterday, she had a big old smile on her face. This is the best time of the year, she was telling us. At least on the outside, not feeling the pressure to win and advance and get a national championship. Says, hey, we're going to go out and play hard every night. If it happens, it happens. Turner from Allen inside.
Julie just doesn't seem to get swayed by the moment. She plays her game. She understands perspective, understands what it takes. She's really embraced her role as a leader of this team.
On the drive, Cable called for the foul on Feller. Irish in control here early in the second half.
The NCAA Women's Championship, presented by Capital One, is brought to you by Baraka.
Few minutes there, the Fighting Irish very efficient offensively.
Absolutely, and they do it the best way they know how. That's sharing the basketball. 11 assists on 18 made field goals. The high-low action between the bigs. Playing in the pick and roll. Playing against a team that switches a lot. So good job finding the open player on the pin downs, delivering on time, being shot ready on the catch. This is exactly what allows Notre Dame to be so efficient on the offensive end.
22 of those 43 points coming in the paint. A boost from Catherine Westbeld off the bench. 6 points, 8 rebounds. Allen, Reimer, and Turner all contributing. And for Montana, the player of the year in the Big Sky, Kelly Rubel, just 2 of 7 shooting. She's got 4 points, 4 assists, also 5 turnovers. They were led in that first half by Maggie Rickman with 6 points, 4 rebounds. But she's back out there to start this second half with 3 personal fouls. Winner will face DePaul on Sunday night in the second round. If it is Notre Dame, it'll be a rematch of an overtime game in the regular season that Notre Dame won 94-93. DePaul with a come-from-behind win earlier tonight against Minnesota.
I love that you get a little bit of the accent in there when you say that.
Minnesota?
Minnesota.
That was a good performance from Amanda Zowie B. Another 20-20 night for her in the loss as Rubel gets it off the window. I'm sure Robin Selvig at halftime talked to his star player about picking it up a notch. For the 5th-year senior, along with Selvig and Rickman, perhaps their final 20 minutes in a Montana jersey.
They got to throw it high. Muffet McGraw talking about that yesterday, all day in practice. There's not one person on the floor that can out-jump Brianna Turner. Throw it high. Let her go get it.
And welcome back to South Bend, where the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, the #1 seed in the Oklahoma City region, firmly in control here against the 16-seed Montana. Tough catch in traffic. Reimer with the block on the shot by leading all scorers. She's got 16 points. Brianna Turner has 11. Lead the way for the
really good rotation on the defensive end. The mismatch down low. Montana able to get her the ball, but terrific help defense by Reimer. Felt like they missed Feller to get her a three, really in rhythm. And she was coming out of that corner off of that rim. And she got to shoot a fadeaway three.
And right back to Brianna Turner.
Shooter, but hadn't been able to keep going. All day long.
Good on the dribble drive.
Notre Dame can take advantage in the pick and roll all day long.
9 points now for Turner. The execution hasn't always been there for Montana, but the intent surely has. They have done a nice job. Feller with a nice fade for two. Notre Dame, they've played fearless. Collie now with 6 points. They've been able to get to the rim on occasion.
One of the things that Muffet McGraw talked to us about was when Notre Dame gets into this rhythm as Jewel Lloyd hits another contested jumper, where they're looking to be patient on the offensive end, but get into a flow on the offensive end as well. Utilize the clock, is running some of that action into quick hits. So utilizing that 10, 15 seconds and then getting a quick score. She didn't think they were very good in the ACC tournament with this, and here's that two-man game. You get the switch again when you're switching. If you're the Lady Griz, you have to get underneath the big. You can't allow them.
And it's rejected by Reimer, and Rickman commits her 4th personal foul.
Now, Rickman's a player that Montana needs to have on the floor. You got to be smart in those situations. A frustration turnover. Right there, and Coach Selvig going to leave her in the ballgame.
She'll stay out there with just under 15 minutes to go. Lloyd no good on the shot. Rubel's got it.
Brianna shot clock. You see Brianna Turner, just as soon as you think you have a mismatch on the block, Turner's right there in the help.
Nice use of the body by Kelly Rubel to get it up and in.
Rubel does look much more composed. Montana gets you so spread out because all of them are stretch for
8. Jewel Lloyd on the drive, swoops in to finish. She's 8 for 12 with 16 points. Talking to her yesterday, she had a big old smile on her face. This is the best time of the year, she was telling us. At least on the outside, not feeling the pressure to win and advance and get a national championship. Says, hey, we're going to go out and play hard every night. If it happens, it happens. Turner from Allen inside. Skip to
Julie just doesn't seem to get swayed by the
posting up inside on Allen. A held ball will go back over to Notre Dame.
Understands what it takes. One of the areas that the Lady Griz have embraced her role as a leader of this season is getting valley mismatches. She actually is one of their better back-to-the-basket players from the perimeter position.
Irish.
And sometimes you get so focused on looking for that you miss other opportunities. I felt like they missed 2 shooters on the perimeter.
The NCAA Women's Championship, presented by Capital One, is brought to you by Baraka.
Reimer, they're looking for Westbeld inside. Tough catch in traffic and the finish.
The interior passing and the way that those 3 bigs, Westbeld and Turner and Reimer, have learned and grown into playing together in that high-low position has been very good. It adds another dimension to a game. You think about the perimeter aspect of Notre Dame's ball club, the interior is becoming really dangerous.
Rebound comes out to Allen. Lloyd down the court for the land. And Jewel Lloyd now with 18. Allen with her 6th assist. Quick on the shot from Sims, no good. Westbeld has it. The post player playing a little point guard. Westbeld spins inside and gets fouled by Rubel.
That's the old Dale Davis move right there.
Oh,
bringing
nice
it back,
reference.
bringing it way back. I mean, she sets him up and spins on him and then able to find the ball. Terrific pass by Reimer, because that had to be right on the money.
Westbeld can't knock it down. Catherine's a 74% free throw shooter. Just 2 for 4 so far tonight. Missed them both, and then commits the foul, going for the rebound. That's her first. And welcome back to South Bend, where the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, the #1 seed in the Oklahoma City region, firmly in control here against the 16 seed Montana. Jewel Lloyd leading all score. She's got 16 spins away from the double team and goes to the left hand.
That was a tough catch and finish by Reimer. Good job of staying with it.
Comes up short on the 3 held ball. We'll shooting 75% here in the second half, even better than the first.
It felt like they missed Feller to get her a 3 really in rhythm. And she was coming out.
Nice finish inside for Feller.
She had to shoot a fadeaway 3. Feller's a terrific shooter, but hadn't been able to get going.
Good on the dribble drive from Kaylee Valley.
This is right here where they're talking about running this execution motion set, this action right here into a quick hit, and it's a good take by Mabry. She doesn't shoot a lot of them inside the 3-point line.
They played fearless. Her first basket tonight. Get to the rim on occasion. Tied up by Rickman, and it's going to go ball in the lane, tipped out to Allen. 2 on 4 for the Irish. Allen away. Mabry, the trail 3. The cold spell continues. Dribble going to bring a timeout called here. Irish going to run a double team at Montana. A little different look here. The heat is on.
They want to get out in transition. They did it early, and they've done it in the second half.
By Reimer, and Rickman commits her
streaking
personal foul.
Able to finish with a little contact. Rickman's a player that Montana needs to have on the floor. You got to be smart in those situations. A frustration turnover right there, and Coach Selvig going to leave her in the ballgame.
She'll stay out there with just under 15 minutes to go. Lloyd no good on the shot. Rubel's got it.
Oh, great cut.
Backdoor Feller. Can't knock it down.
It's a lot of times Montana gets you so spread out because all of them can stretch and hit those outside shots to the 3-point line, and then those backdoor cuts are open. But you got to be able to convert.
Cable and Turner depart. Huffman and Westbeld come on. Valley stepping out. Skip to Rubel. Tried to get Valley posting up inside on Allen. A held ball will go back over to Notre Dame.
Well, that's one of the areas that the Lady Griz have been able to be successful throughout the season, is getting Valley mismatches. She actually is one of their better back-to-the-basket players from the perimeter position. But sometimes you get so focused on looking for that you miss other opportunities. I felt like they missed 2 shooters on the perimeter.
Lloyd comes out to catch. Reimer, they're looking for Westbeld inside. Tough catch in traffic, and the finish.
The interior passing and the way that those three bigs, Westbeld and
The
Turner
one seed here in the
and
Oklahoma City
Reimer
region,
have learned and grown
leading the 16
into playing
seed
together in that
Montana.
high-low position,
And
has been very
a good
good.
look there at
It adds
Shannon
another dimension
Schwayen,
to a
now in
game.
her
You think about the
23rd
perimeter
season
aspect of Notre
alongside
Dame's
Robin
ball club.
Selvig.
The interior
As
is
an
becoming
assistant
really
coach
dangerous.
and former player, she is still the all-time leading
Rebound comes
scorer
out to
in
Allen
Montana.
Lloyd.
The 25
Down the court
for the land. Jewel Lloyd now with 18.
Athlete
In the history of the Big Sky.
Athlete.
Now in
Every
their sixth
player,
assist.
athlete.
Alongside Trish Deuce and Sonia Rogers, they are all former players over on that bench alongside Robin Selvig.
Shannon Schwayen was a Kodak All-American at Montana, the only Big Sky Conference Kodak All-American.
Quick on the shot from Sims, no good. Westbeld
Liken it a little bit to Jackie Stiles and Becky Hammond.
Playing a little point guard. And it's been a terrific season for the Lady Griz.
Big
Westbeld
move.
spins inside
Inside.
the tournament this year, but they're down
And
in the
gets
second
fouled
half.
by Rubel. That's the old Dale Davis move right there.
Oh,
Bringing
nice
it back.
reference.
Bringing it way back. I mean, she sets him up and spins on him and then able to find the ball. Terrific pass by Reimer because that had to be right on the money.
Westbeld can't knock it down. Catherine's a 74% free throw shooter. Just 2 for 4 so far tonight. Missed them both, and then commits the foul going for the rebound. That's her first. Ends up with Valley out on the wing. Lindsay Allen. Feeding it inside to Reimer. Spins away from the double team and goes to the left hand.
That was a tough catch and finish by Reimer. Good job of staying with it.
They are shooting 75% here in the second half, even better than the first. Nice finish inside for Feller.
This is right here where they're talking about running this motion set, this action right here into a quick hit, and it's a good take by Mabry. She doesn't shoot a lot of them inside the three-point line.
Mascot said, whoa, Monty, the acrobatic maneuver, and a grizzly
basket
bear
tonight.
into the worm. Well done, Monty. And dancing with one of the ushers here at Purcell Pavilion. We've got a whole other day of first-round coverage for you. The NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. We're going to get started a little early. 2 on 4 for the Irish. Allen will wait. Mabry, the trail 3. The road to Tampa runs through the Princeton Tigers. Expel continues. They'll open up their first-round matchup with Green Bay tomorrow. And a timeout called here by Montana.
30-0. Here you go. Notre Dame wanted to get out in transition. They did it early, and they've done it in the second half as well. Lindsay Allen head up, finds a streaking Jewel Lloyd, able to finish with a little contact.
Maryland, the #1 seed. They're taking on New Mexico State tomorrow afternoon. So we'll get the day started early. We'll finish it late night with the overall #1 seed in the tournament. Connecticut will be playing St. Francis tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. The first round coverage continuing. We will be back here Sunday night at 9 Eastern. The winner of this one will take on the DePaul Blue Demons. Rallied from a 15-point second half deficit to come back to beat Minnesota.
And there's a strong chance we could see a rematch of a December 10th matchup with DePaul and Notre Dame. That went to OT. Jewel Lloyd, 41 in that matchup. No Brianna Turner, though. She was not available for that game, out with the shoulder injury.
Tied the record most points in a game for the Fighting Irish. Nobody looking forward to that possible rematch more than Brittany Rinko, who missed late free throws in regulation and overtime. They could have won it for DePaul, and a huge from the Notre Dame faithful here. They've been waiting a while for Mabry to try and bust out of a long-range shooting slump.
Well, Mabry did hit 3 threes in that semifinal matchup of the ACC tournament against Duke, and then went cold again. That's also the game that Jewel Lloyd took over at 13 of the last 17 points in the final 10 minutes of that game. Muffin McGraw said at that point she was playing like the best player in the country, no doubt about it.
Our friends at ESPNW couldn't agree more. They named Jewel Lloyd the National Player of the Year. The 1 seed here in the Oklahoma City region leading the 16 seed Montana. She looks like she is in shutdown mode. Good look there at Shannon Schwayen, now in her 23rd season alongside Robin Selvig as an assistant coach and former player. She is still the all-time leading scorer at Montana. The 25-year anniversary of the Big Sky Conference, she was named the female athlete in the history of the Big Sky.
Athlete,
not every sport.
Player,
they were good in the first half. 60% alongside Trish Deuce and Sonia Rogers, they are all former players over on that bench alongside Robin Selvig.
Shannon Schwayen was a Kodak All-American at Montana, the only Big Sky Conference forever. Muffin McGraw said as Rickman hits a nice up and under. On Sunday, liking it a little bit to Jackie Stiles and Becky Hammond. Players get sick.
It's been a terrific season for the Lady Griz, getting back to the NCAA tournament this year, but they're down in the second half.
Great recover, but it's nice to get back in the game flow.
Knocked out of bounds. McGraw wanted a foul. She won't get the call as Turner checks out. Rubel creates some space. Tip back out to Gillum. Westbeld comes out with it. Huffman fouled on the baseline drive by Rubel. It's going to be her third.
That was committed by number 12, Kelly Rubel of Montana.
Montana's going to go to its bench, get some players out there. Haley Vining.
Montana at number 3.
We talked about it earlier, a second-generation Lady Griz. Her mom played for Robin Selvig at Montana before she did. Number 3 here, defending on the ball.
Robin Selvig talking to us about the fact that he's had a lot of great players with some good genes who had some pretty good ball-playing daughters. What an opportunity, though, to coach second-generation players.
It's just a terrific story about how he even got the job 37 years ago after playing on the men's team. Back in those days, a lot of women's basketball programs were still in the physical education department. When they moved it over into the athletic department, they needed to hire a coach. That responsibility fell to Mike Montgomery, a name you might recognize for his success at Stanford and Cal, and he was that men's coach at Montana. And it came down to Selvig and a young woman by the name of Tara Vanderveer to get the starting job, or to get the head coaching job. Both Robin and Tara and Mike Montgomery went on to do very nice things on the basketball court. The mascots have, Monty, the acrobatic maneuver, and a grizzly bear into the worm. Well done, Monty. And dancing with one of the ushers here at Purcell Pavilion. We've got a whole nother day of first-round coverage for you. The NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. We're going to get started a little early since it's Saturday morning, 11 a.m. I know a lot of folks are around the country. The road to Tampa runs through the Princeton Tigers at 30-0, and they will open up their first-round matchup with Green Bay tomorrow morning.
Congratulations on going 30-0. Here you go, an 8-9 game against Green Bay.
That'll be in College Park if the Tigers win that. In all likelihood, a matchup with Maryland in the second round. Maryland, the #1 seed. They'll take on New Mexico State tomorrow afternoon. So we'll get the day started early. We'll finish it late night with the overall #1 seed in the tournament. Connecticut will be playing St. Francis tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. The first round coverage continuing. We will be back here Sunday night at 9 Eastern. The winner of this one will take on the DePaul Blue Demons. Rallied from a 15-point second half deficit to come back to beat Minnesota.
And there's a strong chance we could see a rematch of a December 10th matchup with DePaul and Notre Dame. And went to OT. Jewel Lloyd, 41 in that matchup. No Brianna Turner, though. She was not available for that game, out with the shoulder injury.
Tied the record most points in a game for the Fighting Irish. Nobody looking forward to that possible rematch more than Brittany Rinko, who missed late free throws in regulation and overtime. It could have won it for DePaul.
Quicksilver from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5%
From the
cash
Notre
back
Dame
every
faithful here.
purchase,
They've been waiting a
every
while
day.
for Mabry to try and bust out of a long-range shooting slump. Some of the highlights of tournaments past. 34th NCAA Women's Basketball Championship. Half of those titles have been won by Connecticut and Tennessee. UConn, the favorites to win a 10th championship this year.
Took over at 13 of the last
Fighting Irish expected to be a team that might challenge them in the championship game.
Buffy McGraw said at that point she was playing like the best player in the country,
If the
no doubt
seeds
about it.
hold, it would be UConn and Maryland on one side, Notre Dame and South Carolina on the other side. Still plenty of hoops to be played. National Player of the Year. Fighting Irish are looking at a rematch with DePaul, and one was a nail-biter when the two teams met in the regular season. She looks like she is in shutdown mode with the jersey on, the towel over the legs. No longer in the ballgame for Montana after an 18-point senior 4-assist performance. With her 5th personal foul, and on the air ball, that got Mabry right in the face. Inside, Markeisha Wright. First time, it's the lay-in. In the second half, 75%.
I'm sure Jewel Lloyd and Notre Dame just happy to be back on the floor. It seems like it's been forever. Buffy McGraw said as Rickman hits a nice up and under. He said on Sunday we brought in some refs. We tried to make it game-like. Rally can't wait to get sick of
gets bumped
for 10 days straight.
Let's see where this gets Mabry. She's having a chuckle right now with her teammates during the break in the action.
Nice to get back in the game flow.
You usually expect to see that happen. Oh, got her right in the kisser.
Well, at least she kept it in play.
Foul. And all her teammates immediately put the towels to their head, trying not to chuckle. That'll be a replay they'll all enjoy tomorrow. And there she is, checking out of the ball game, having a laugh with her mates. Create some space. She's a tough young lady, South Jersey. Belmar. Westbell comes out with a draw, not the least bit worried that she hasn't been shooting it well of late. Foul on the baseline drive by Rubel. Pick it back up when they need her. Her third. Huffman on the drive.
When you're a shooter, you got to have a short-term memory. Got to let it go.
Did they just bring her over to the bench to make sure she was okay? And now she's right back out there. Maybe they'll see if they can get her a few looks here to try it earlier. A second-generation Lady Griz. Her mom played for Robin Selvig at Montana before she did. Number 3 here, defending the ball away now into the game, too.
Robin Selvig talking to us.
Here is Mabry. They do want to get her a look.
And a launch for 3. Pretty good ball playing daughters. Opportunity though to coach second generation.
Well, that couldn't have worked out better for Notre Dame. It's just a terrific story
second
about
of the
how
night.
he even got the job 37 years ago after playing on the men's team. Back in those days, a lot of women's basketball programs were still in the physical education department. When they moved it over into the athletic department, they needed to hire a coach. that responsibility fell to Mike Montgomery, a name you might recognize for his success at Stanford and Cal, and he was that men's coach at Montana. And it came down to Selvig and a young woman by the name of Tara Vanderveer to get the starting job, or to get the head coaching job. Both Robin and Tara and Mike Montgomery went on to do very nice things on the basketball court. Entry pass goes out of bounds, turned over by Montana. Every four-year player in the nearly 4 decades of Robin Selvig's tenure has played in the NCAA tournament for Montana. And this their 21st trip. Holloway gets her teammates on their feet over on the bench.
And the fans on their feet. Whitney Holloway goes into the trees.
Right with the rebound, out to Whitney Holloway. She'll push the tempo. Scoop shot won't go.
I'm getting the feeling she's a fan favorite. Every time she's touching the ball, you can hear the decibel level get a little louder.
Number 20, Hannah Torrin. Number 13, Alicia Sims. Number 12, Kelly.
And Montana will go to the bench here, and a nice hand for some of their older players, including Carly Selvig, the 5th-year senior. This is Rubel, the other senior, going to bring it across. Valley tried for 3, that won't go. Diamond Thompson now also into the game for Notre Dame. Final 4 minutes of this one, the Fighting Irish will try and put the finishing touches on it.
And for the first time, we see a zone from Montana. Kayla Mabry says, come out and give me a screen.
I almost reconnected with right on
the NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Quicksilver from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase, every day.
Some of the highlights. 3:30 to play until the number 1 seed NCAA Women's Basketball Championship. Half of those titles have been won by Connecticut and Tennessee. UConn, the favorites to win a 10th championship this year. The Fighting Irish expected to be a team that might challenge them in the championship game. If the seeds hold, it would be UConn and Maryland on one side, Notre Dame and South Carolina on the other side, but still plenty of hoops to be played. Fighting Irish are looking at a rematch with DePaul in what was a nail-biter when the two teams met in the regular season. Maggie Rickman is no longer in the ballgame for Montana. The senior with her 5th personal foul, and on the air ball, that got Mabry right in the face. Inside, Markeisha Wright. It's the lay-in. Coming off the screen, gets bumped. Let's see where this gets Mabry. She's having a chuckle right now with her teammates during the break in the action. You don't usually expect to see that happen. Oh, got her right in the kisser.
Well, at least she kept it in play.
And all her teammates immediately put the towels to their head, trying not to chuckle. That'll be a replay they'll all enjoy tomorrow. And there she is, checking out of the ball game, having a laugh with her mates. She's a tough young lady, South Jersey We are drawing closer to a Notre Dame-DePaul matchup in the second round Sunday night at 9 Eastern on ESPN. They've already played once this season, and it was an epic, Stephanie White, as Jewel Lloyd made all the big plays down the stretch, including some clutch free throws.
Gotta let it go.
DePaul had its chances to win it. Brittany Rinko had a big night. Couldn't knock that shot down. Some missed free throws, damaging the DePaul's chances. And the Fighting Irish walked away with a 1-point win. Jewel Lloyd had 41 that night to go along with 12 boards.
DePaul 12 of 29 from the free throw
now
line.
into the
Notre
game,
Dame,
too.
three players with double-double.
They do want to get her a look.
And
a launch for three.
Jewel Lloyd 31 and 12.
Well, that couldn't have worked out better for Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is number 4.
Second of the night.
That is the matchup we're looking for here in the next 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Will be an entertaining one for the fans. The spin fell no good. Offensive rebound, Valley couldn't get it to go. Oh, Johnson with the bucket. Not to mention that Jewel Lloyd is a Chicago native and is a good family friend of DePaul head coach Doug Bruno and a former camper. Doug Bruno's camps in Chicago, legendary. With the rebound.
Legendary across the country are Bruno's camps.
And we'll give Coach Bruno a little bit of credit for her development. She's our Capital One Cup impact performer.
There's no doubt that she was terrific. She played in 26 minutes in this ball game, able to get a little bit of a rest. 18 points, 4 assists, 3 boards. Just terrific. Early, you could tell she was locked in, ready to go.
In the NCAA tournament for Montana.
Jewel Lloyd's father actually coached Doug Bruno's son. One of Doug Bruno's sons.
Holloway gets her teammates on their feet over on the bench.
Terrific relationship. And the fans on their feet.
She was actually in the stands a few years back when Candace Parker returned to Chicago
right with the rebound out to Whitney Holloway. She'll push the tempo.
The Lady Vols would end up winning that game. They'd go on
Scoop shot
to win
won't
the
go.
national championship.
Getting
One
the
of
feeling
2.
she's a fan favorite. Every time she's touching the ball, you can hear the decibel level get a little louder.
Catchings, good friend of yours, also a former Bruno camper.
Absolutely.
Spent a few years in Chicago.
Montana will go to the bench here. Not some of their older players, including Carly Selvig,
even in Northwest
the
Indiana.
fifth-year senior.
Could be a fun one on Sunday night. This is Rubel, the other senior, going to bring it across. One of the things that we appreciate about Jewel Lloyd is she's always looking for ways to get better, whether it's studying Skylar Diggins and Kayla McBride, her 2 former teammates here, whether it's watching video of Kobe and of Manu Ginobili and of Diana Taurasi, looking for ways to elevate her game. Final 4 minutes of this one. The Fighting Irish
video at all.
Try and put the
because so
finishing
many
touches on it.
going to play the game without studying the game. First Without time we see a zone watching the game, from Montana. without learning. You don't just go out and become a great player by playing the game. You work on your fundamentals day in and day out. You watch film. Watch how other players are doing stuff. Study yourself as well. Right. He says, come out and give me a screen. Aspects of the game and just going out and running up and down the floor and playing pickup.
Was right on the
playing
roll.
games.
Thompson with the catch inside. Couldn't put it away. 3 no good. Offensive rebound. And
She'll pull up for 3. Final minute.
Foul going to be called on Thompson.
Impressive offensive display for the Fighting Irish. They shot 60% in the first half. They're up over 60% again here in the second. And the 1 seed ready to advance to face the 9 seed DePaul in the Oklahoma City region. Upper right-hand part of your bracket.
Now coming to line number 22, Isaak of Montana, first T7.
After some early upsets today, the favorites have been winning out most of the rest of the evening. That 6-11 matchup, by the way, Gonzaga still with the lead over George Washington, but they've got 9 minutes still to go. If the Zags hold on, that would be 3 double-digit seeds picking up wins today. Looks like they're going to add some time onto the clock, or clock issue.
That's what we've been looking for. We've been looking for some upsets.
Yeah.
Some other teams making a push.
I think we have seen a lot more parity and balance this year than we've seen in a long time. Certainly had a lot closer games already this year than we've seen in a number of the last tournaments.
Irish putting the finishing touches on a win. Tremendous careers for the Lady Griz seniors, Carly Selvig, Maggie Rickman, Kelly Rubel. And the Big Sky champs will close out their year. The Fighting Irish, champions of the ACC, will advance 77 to 43 is the final. Jewel Lloyd, 18 points to lead the way. Fighting Irish will take on DePaul on Sunday night. We are drawing closer to a Notre Dame-DePaul matchup in the second round Sunday night at 9 Eastern on ESPN. There you have it. They've already played games here at Notre Dame. It was epic. Stephanie White as Jewel Lloyd made all the big plays down the stretch, including some clutch free throws. Afternoon out at Stanford, the Cardinal had his chances to win it. Brittany Rinko had a big night. Couldn't knock that shot down. Some missed free throws, damaging the DePaul's chances. And now out on the court, Fighting Irish walked away with a 1-point win.
You got game one under your belt. You guys shot 62% from the floor. What was working offensively for you?
I think we just got a rhythm. You know, we found what was open, and we just shot with confidence.
You got a lot of players, minutes on the floor, experience in the game. How important is that moving forward?
It's very experienced. You know, it's good for people to get experience on the court. You know, we're happy to see people get on the floor. We love when they score, so it's just a great feeling.
Looking forward to the next round matchup against DePaul. You guys had an epic battle earlier in the year in Chicago. What do you think you need to do to continue to advance?
It's play our game. You know, we know that they like to run. You know, we had a really good game at DePaul, so we're excited just to have another opportunity.
All right, congratulations.
Oh, Johnson with the bucket. Not to mention that Jewel Lloyd is leading the way for Notre Dame.
And the
Fighting Irish beat Montana 77 to 43. We now send you back to the studio. And Kevin Bruno's will be back here in South Bend Sunday night.
Legendary across the country, our Bruno's camps.
And we'll give Coach Bruno a little bit of credit for her development. She's our Capital One Cup Impact performer.
Well, there's no doubt that she was terrific. She played 26 minutes in this ball game, able to get a little bit of a rest. 18 points, 4 assists, 3 boards. Just terrific. Early, you could tell she was locked in and ready to go. Yeah, Jewel Lloyd's father actually coached Doug Bruno's son, one of Doug Bruno's sons. So they have known one another since Jewel was very young. Terrific relationship. She was actually in the stands a few years back when Candace Parker returned to Chicago with the University of Tennessee in a regular season matchup. The Lady Vols would end up winning that game. They'd go on to win the national championship, one of 2 for Candace Parker during her playing days at Tennessee.
Tamika Catchings, good friend of yours, also a former Bruno camper.
Absolutely.
Spent a few years in Chicago.
I don't think you can grow up in the Chicagoland area and have not been to Doug Bruno's camp. Even in Northwest Indiana at that.
It could be a fun one on Sunday night. One of the things that we appreciate about Jewel Lloyd is she's always looking for ways to get better, whether it's studying Skylar Diggins and Kayla McBride, her 2 former teammates here, whether it's watching video of Kobe and of Manu Ginobili and of Diana Taurasi, looking for ways to elevate her game.
The fact that she watches video at all, because so many players want to play the game without studying the game, without watching the game, without learning. You don't just go out and become a great player by playing the game. You work on your fundamentals day in and day out. You watch film, watch how other players are doing stuff. Study yourself as well. There are so many aspects of the game than just going out and running up and down the floor and playing pickup, playing games.
Thompson with the catch inside, couldn't put it away. Gillum should pull up for 3. Final minute. Impressive offensive display for the Fighting Irish. They shot 60% in the first half. They're up over 60% again here in the second. And the 1 seed ready to advance to face the 9 seed DePaul in the Oklahoma City region. Upper right-hand part of your bracket.
Foul committed by number 22, Isaak of Montana, first, team 7.
After some early upsets today, the favorites have been winning out most of the rest of the evening. That 6-11 matchup, by the way, Gonzaga still with the lead over George Washington, but they've got 9 minutes still to go. If the Zags hold on, that would be 3 double-digit seeds picking up wins today. And it looks like they're going to add some time onto the clock, a clock issue.
That's what we've been looking for. We've been looking for some upsets.
Yeah.
Some other teams making a push. Now, I think we have seen a lot more parity and balance this year than we've seen in a long time. Certainly had a lot closer games already this year than we've seen in a number of the last tournaments.
Irish putting the finishing touches on a win. Tremendous careers for the Lady Griz seniors, Carly Selvig, Maggie Rickman, Kelly Rubel. And the Big Sky champs will close out their year. The Fighting Irish, champions of the ACC, will advance 77-43 is the final. Drew Lloyd, 18 points to lead the way. Fighting Irish will take on DePaul on Sunday night. So there you have it. The games here at Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish and the Blue Demons advance. Also in this part of the bracket, they'll be playing tomorrow afternoon out at Stanford, the Cardinal, the 4 seed, Oklahoma, the 5 seed out west. Those winners would advance to Oklahoma City in the regional next weekend. And now out on the court, Steph, with Jewel Lloyd.
Jewel, you got game 1 under your belt. You guys shot 62% from the floor. What was working offensively for you?
I think we just got a rhythm. You know, we found what was open and we just shot with confidence.
You got a lot of players, minutes on the floor, experience in the game. How important is that moving forward?
It's very experienced. You know, it's good for people to get experience on the court. You know, we're happy to see people get on the floor. We love when they score, so it's just a great feeling.
Looking forward to the next round matchup against DePaul. You guys had an epic battle earlier in the year in Chicago. What do you think you need to do to continue to advance?
It's play our game. You know, we know that they like to run. You know, we had a really good game at DePaul, so we're excited just to have another opportunity.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Beth.
Jewel Lloyd leading the way for Notre Dame. And the Fighting Irish beat Montana 77-43. We now send you back to the studio. And Kevin Gandhi will be back here in South Bend Sunday night.